Everything is in a state of becoming something else. Life is constantly on the move, forever turning itself into something new, something fresh, something it has never been before. But often we resist this movement, struggling to sustain what cannot be sustained and control what cannot be controlled. We seek safety and security in things we believe are permanent, our identities, our ideologies, our religious beliefs, and yet the energy of life is never fixed, but always changing. For what we call the moment, and every idea we ever held about it, is already gone, already dissolving into the next, in a never-ending cascade of creation and destruction. What appears is at the same time disappearing, the arising and the passing away, a single movement without beginning or end. This is the preciousness of life, this amazing constellation of feelings, thoughts, sensations, and the mystery of wakefulness that illumines them all, here and then gone in a flash. And the extraordinary paradox is that this which is ever changing is at the same time changeless. A bird, a tear, a star, all the movement of a single life, one ocean dancing as 1,000 different waves, and yet always remaining itself. Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 words, as the old saying goes. So I'm going to show you, actually not a picture, but a little video and do a little guided exploration with you around the theme of what you're going to see here in a moment. This is what I was just writing about in that little passage. Life, the ocean of life, is giving rise to these countless and ceaseless waves of phenomena, of experience, all the different forms that life can take. And those are the waves that are rising up and falling back down and rising up and falling back down. And this very much feels like a kind of tidal movement of existence, of life, of our experience. And our tendency is to focus on all the ways that the waves appear to be distinct from one another, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But we, as I often say, we tend to be engaged in this process of sort of trying to locate the waves of phenomena, the waves of experience that we categorize as the good ones, the ones we like, the ones we imagine represent whatever it is we're aspiring to have more of in life: happiness, well-being, freedom, joy. And then those other waves, those other phenomena that we equate with a lack of well-being, a lack of joy, a lack of happiness, a lack of freedom. This is the way we split the world up into seeming distinctions and differentiations. And from one perspective, um, yes, everything is utterly distinct and unique and different. Every little taste and every little flavor, every little wave of experience is different. This particular wave of experience right now is like none other. That's what's so extraordinary. But as this very simple footage of the ocean doing what it does, which is making waves, illustrates so beautifully, and our experience is constantly illustrating to us, if we make a little slight shift in how we're orienting to it, we can realize that yes, there is all this distinction and all this differentiation, all these seemingly different waves of phenomena and experience and people, places, and things. But all of it is of a singular nature. All of it is the rising up, the unfolding, the upwelling of the mystery, upwelling of life itself, of God. And so, from this perspective, there And just as I say these words, as I speak what I'm speaking, just feel into your experience right now. This ever-changing, dynamic, fluid flow of, of life. And notice the way in which our experiences, which really is our world, our experiences, and that would include whatever we imagine the self to be, has no existence independent of this, of reality, independent of the ground of being itself. There's no separation between one thing and another, between one apparent phenomena and another. There's no gaps anywhere. There's just a continuum of life, a continuum of experiencing, a continuum of reality, of existence, this oceanic presence that's here right now, that's being felt, however it's being felt. The waves of experience rising up, but they, no matter how they may be appearing, they never depart from their basis, the basis of the fundamental absolute reality that everything is emerging from, whatever we might call that, because there really is no name for it. There's no name for it because it is all names. It is all things, all phenomena. Just as all waves are none other than the sea. They are inseparable from the sea. They are the sea's expression. So each one of us, as we may imagine ourselves as somehow separate and isolated, independently existing creatures, are none other than the vast ocean of reality itself. There's really actually no distinction. From one perspective, when we look at the sea, and there are no waves, actually, there's just a sea being a sea that's just moving and dancing and always becoming something and yet always simply being itself. And this is one of the reasons why, in some traditions, and certainly the way I um, teach about these things as well, there's no need to actually correct or alter or modify any aspect of your experience in order to get closer to the ground of being somehow, to get closer to divinity, to get closer to this basic primal existence, because all of our experience is none other than that. So there's, from that perspective, at least, there's no hierarchy of experience. There's no closer or further from the ground. There's no there's no type of wave that is more the sea than any other type of wave, because they are all the expression of the sea. So every thought, every feeling, every sensation, every memory, every wondering, a chaotic mind or a still mind, tension, relaxation, all these different ways we might describe what's here experientially. From this perspective, they are all of the same nature. They are all of the same basic, I don't know what to call it, basic reality. Sometimes I just call it this that's here. Whatever this is, there's no possibility of capturing it in any word or concept because it's too fathomless, it's too infinite. And this that's always here, this presence of reality, looks like whatever it looks like in the instant, feels however it feels in the instant. But it's not dependent on how it looks any more than the ocean is dependent on how the waves may be appearing. The sea remains the sea, whether it's calm or stormy. And this is what we are. This is what everything is. We're made of, we're made of this. Everything is made of this. Yes, there's certain states we could say we prefer over others in terms of our particular preferences. But what I'm pointing to here is the equalness of all experience, of all phenomena, equal in its vitality, equal in its radiance, equal in its unfathomable, ungraspable, infinite nature. All of it the shining forth of the mystery, all of it. And we don't have to do something to make the shining forth happen because the shining forth is the nature of everything. So there's no effort required. What we think of as ourselves is the shining forth, as is everything else. Somehow, inexplicably, reality is shining forth, radiating this magnificence, this astonishing intelligence and vitality and so the Buddhists say that phenomena have no independent existence. This is the concept of emptiness in Buddhism. And if we just put it in ordinary language, we would say that what we look at and perceive and describe as a wave is none other than the sea. That's just how the sea looks at that particular point. But you're always looking at the sea. So there's a thought, and that's what reality looks like right there at that point. That's what God looks like right there. A feeling arises, oh, that's what reality looks like. That's what the mystery looks like right there. So you're always looking at the only thing you could ever be looking at, which is this unfathomable divinity.